What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to Misplayed Magic, the only Magic the Gathering YouTube channel doing giveaways based on how I draft. You'll see on the screen if I get 0 wins in this draft, I'm giving away a collector booster pack. All the way down to 7 wins, I'll be giving away a draft. All you have to do is like this video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment down below. What did you think I did well? What could I maybe have done better? And let's jump into it here. Alright, jumping into this first pack here, our rare is Awakened the Honored Dead. This is a pretty good card in Sultai. You get to destroy target non-land permanent and mill 3 cards, and then there's some graveyard recursion in that third mode there. I also like Stormplane Detainment as a fairly good removal spell, and then I also like the Shocking Sharpshooter if we end up going for more of a quicker either Boros or Mardu deck here. I think we're going to take Awaken the Honored Dead here. It's just the best card out of the pack. And I think Sultai is one of those spots we don't mind being in, especially if we go the 5-color soup route. So we're going to take that here and see what we can pick up in the next pack. So here we could take the Frostcliff Siege. You either choose Jeskai or Temur. You're either drawing cards or giving cards Trample and Haste. So it can be a really strong card there. If we want to stick into kind of a black-green deck, Host of the Hereafter is pretty decent. It's decent enough. And then the other cards that I really like, I love the Dragon Sniper as a really solid kind of 1-mana take down a dragon. I like the Venerated Stormsinger, more so in a Mardu deck than a Sultai one. And then I also love Piercing Exhale. I really like its ability to surveil as well if you have a dragon. And so I think that here I'm going to follow up a removal spell with another removal spell. I'm a huge fan of this card. I've seen it slip a little bit in ratings and such, but I'm a big fan of it here. Alright, now we have the option between a couple of things. The Temur Battle Crier is pretty solid. I think you have to be in Temur to really want to go that route. We also could take the Sipsy Appraiser, which is just the best common, one of the best commons in the set. If we want to jump into kind of a blue-green shell, we could also take the Synchronized Charge or the Veteran Ice Climber. The Ice Climber might be good in sort of a Sultai deck here, but we're going to take the Temur Battle Crier. I think it's fun. I think if we end up playing a lot of different colors, it's one of those that can kind of discount larger spells and can be worthwhile here. Alright, jumping into this pack, if we want to end up going a lot of different colors, I think that Dragon Brood's Relic is really crucial to being able to do that effectively. I also think Saga Wilding is fantastic, but we haven't quite made the Dragon Brood's Relic work on the channel yet, so I really like to do that. You get to basically end up sacrificing and creating a dragon, which is really strong. So we're going to do that here, and maybe have a bit of a green base as we continue forward. Now we've got our choice between a Nomad Outpost, which is a lot of different colors, the Runescale Stormbrood, which is strong, probably strongest in Jeskai, or we can start taking maybe smarter lands here in the Dismal Backwater. I do think we want this over the Nomad Outpost. We might not necessarily be playing a lot of red or white, but I think there's a decent chance that we are playing both black and blue. At least on a splash here. So we're going to go with the Dismal Backwater. Here we've got a rare still in the pack as Felotharadon of the Abzan. I do think Abzan is the weakest of the color pairings, so we're probably totally fine passing that here. Here my pick is between kind of 3 things. The Veteran Ice Climber is pretty solid if we end up going into more of a Sultai deck. The Sagu Pummeler is a really solid 4-drop. You can trade with a dragon, hopefully, and then kind of make something else that can trade with a dragon. And then the Temur Devotee is not too shabby as well. I think here we've got a couple of green cards. This also goes with the Temur Battle Crier's power 4 and greater. So we're going to go with the Sagu Pummeler here. Here, Skirmish Rhino I don't think is quite as good as people expect it to be. It's solid. But I don't think that we necessarily want to be an Abzan. I think here I'm more than happy picking up an Einok Wayfarer. It's a green card. It's going to help us get some lands. We also could take a Tawny back if we want to move more into Temur. I guess it does kind of go with a Battle Crier. But I think here we're just more interested in a 2-drop that can help us get a land, help us curve out. This is a late Traveling Botanist, super late. So I think that's a sign that green is open, at least the way that we're getting past to. We could either take that, the Skirmish Rhino, or another Wayfarer, but we're going to snap the Botanist here, just a really good 2-drop. Here we'll take an Undergrowth Leopard. I'm not a humongous fan of this card, but it's a fine curve filler in green. We also could take an Embermail Sentinel. Maybe we will do that just in case we end up wanting to play a ton of different colors and we want to be able to splash those effectively. I don't love the Undergrowth Leopard at all, so we'll take that here. I don't know that we will be playing it necessarily. Looks like Host of the Hereafter came around. We also could take an Ice Ridge Serpent if we wanted to go more into a blue-green deck. We don't have a ton of counter stuff going on, so I actually am going to take the Ice Ridge Serpent here in the off chance that we do play it. Now it's either between another Ice Ridge Serpent or a Roamer's Routine or a Nightblade Brigade. This is more an Mardu deck. We'll take the Roamer's Routine. I don't think we're going to play it, but I think we're quicker to play that than a second Ice Ridge Serpent. And we'll just wheel some cards here. Alright, jumping into our second pack, we've got a couple of good rares. Rival of the Ancestors is a fantastic Abzan card. I don't know that we necessarily want to be in that territory. I also think Fanekeeper's Familiar is extremely strong. I do think we're going to end up playing maybe a combination of both Sultai and Temur, just trying to get as much value as we can. It's a very good controlling card. You can counter another spell, but even at its worst, it can trade and you can gain life in Survival 3, which doesn't feel too terrible. So I think we're more than happy picking this up here. Moving into this second pick here, New Way Forward is a really fun Jeskai card. It is pretty good and controlly, but I don't think we're going to end up playing it. Opulent Palace here is the Sultai lane, which I think we're just kind of snap picking. It's going to really help kind of fix up our mana base here. Constrictor Sage is also good, and then Teeming Dragonstorm is really strong. Not totally sure we want to be in white. There's a chance we end up playing a lot of colors based on the rares we open, but I think we're more than happy just picking the Opulent Palace here. Here we're between a couple of cards. The Bewildering Blizzard is fine. I think it does do a good job of controlling. The Ice Ridge Serpent is good, but I love the Kishla Skimmer. I think it's really strong. I think this will set us into a blue-green base, and we'll kind of splash for black and maybe red. We might not end up playing Temur after all, but the Kishla Skimmer is really good, and so now we're going to have to prioritize more Harmonize effects and more Renew effects as well. Spectral Denial is a great counter spell. We've also got in the pack the Rainveil Rejuvenator, the Sagu Pummeler, but I think we're going to go with this Sagu Wildling. It does a really good job of helping us go search for land, and then it also is a dragon at our top end. Not a super strong one, but a good enough one for sure. Now we will take the Frontier, the Temur land, just to kind of shore up our mana base even more if we do want to play any Temur cards as they arise, like the Tawny Back. But here I think we're between the Focus the Mind and the Humbling Elder. I think we are more interested in the card draw effect, and I think having the Focus the Mind at kind of the top end of our curve is going to be good for that. Now we'll take a Dirger Island Dragon as a solid top end dragon. Looks like Spectral Denial is also going to make its way into our deck here. We've got a couple of Power 4 things going on, but just a solid counter spell there. Now looking at this next pack, I think we're just going to take the Rugged Highlands. Again, I don't know if we're going to be playing Temur, but this just allows us, if we see anything crazy in this last pack, we'll be able to pick it up and play it, and kind of increase the power level of our deck without sacrificing too much on our draws. Looks like we wield the Constrictor Sage, which is totally fine. I think we're happy playing one of those in our deck. Here I do think we want the Sultai Devotee over another Ice Ridge Serpent, just to help us curve out and get all of our colors here. Here we could take the Gormog Night Watch. We do kind of need some 3-mana plays. I think we're going to take it here. Do a good job of loading our graveyard a little bit. Ooh, we have a couple of great cards in this pack. So Shiko, Paragon Up the Way is one of the best cards in the set. When it enters exile, target non-land card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard. You can copy it, and then you can cast the copy without paying for it. So you can copy a spell there. And then Roar of the Endless Song is really great. We got to play with this a little bit in our first video. We did end up trophying with it, and it just felt, every time we were able to play it on curve, it felt really, really strong. We've also got the Knockout Maneuver as a removal spell, as well as some land fixing here. I think for us, though, we've kind of got the teamer fixing a little bit. We're more than happy taking another Roar of the Endless Song here. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And then moving into this next pack, we could take another Opulent Palace for some mana fixing here. But I think there's a couple of cards that are strong enough to warrant taking. I think the Jeskai Shrine Keeper is really strong. I also think the Dragonstorm Forecaster can be really good. We don't have the Dragonstorm Globe or the Boulderborn Dragon, but still could be solid. And then Glacial Dragon Hunt is just a solid way to draw a card and deal damage to a creature. Maybe we are just going to go with the fixing and the smart thing here. I'm going to take another Opulent Palace. Jumping into this pack, we're between either the Hollowmark Siege, which I'm not a humongous fan of. I don't think it's bad, but I do think black is quickly becoming our splash color. So I'm kind of between either a Dragon Sniper, a Mammoth Bellow, or either of these blue cards. I think we want more kind of a top end. I do think us just playing a bunch of elephants sounds like a lot of fun. So we're going to take that card here. Moving into this next pack, I think we're just going to take a Sibsig Appraiser as a really good card that can filter our draws, and kind of a 2-for-1 in and of itself. Now we could take another Frontier Teamerland, or we could take a Synchronized Charge or a Whirling Stormbrood. So we've got a lot of more expensive plays in our deck, so I don't totally know if we want to play... No, I think we do. I think we do want to play the Whirling Stormbrood. I think it is good enough to warrant us taking it here. It'll give our other dragons flash as well. Now we can either take a Piercing Exhale or another Thornwood Falls. We're going to take the Piercing Exhale. We don't have a ton of interaction here. I think we're more than happy playing that. Now we could take either a Blossoming Sands, but we're going to take a Champion of Doosan. I'm a big fan of that card. It'll also allow us to renew. And now we've got a couple of fun options. We could take another Piercing Exhale. Again, one of my favorite removal spells. We could take a Sarkhan's Resolve as a super solid trick and then also removal spell. Or we can just take another Mammoth Bellow. And I really want to get Stompy. I think this card is okay. I think it's good. I think the tokens can get bounced. You can kind of get messed with a couple of ways, but I think it'd be fun if we just had a ton of elephants at our top end, and we kind of leaned into more of a teamer deck here than a Sultai one that I was initially thinking of. We are more than happy picking up an Unending Whisper late here. We'll take an Earth Carver. And I'm not even positive we really want to be playing Sultai cards. Maybe we'll splash black for like the familiar, but the Night Watch we don't super need. Awaken the Honored Dead is really good. So maybe we'll do it like this. Alright, so here is the final deck we are going to be going with. We've got basically a blue-green base, and we're splashing red for a couple of cards. We're splashing black for a couple of cards. But the general game plan is get large elephants and have them run over the opponent. So we're going to jump into a couple of games here. We'll see how the deck performs. Alright, jumping into this first game, we go first. I do think we're actually going to keep this. Hopefully the Botanist can help us get some lands here. So we're going to play our tapped land first, followed by the Botanist, and then hopefully we can get a land or play a Sibsig Appraiser. We'll see what our opponent does on turn 2. Or we could just draw a land here as well. That would be just fine. Alright, so we are not going to get a land yet. Let's see if one's on top. I don't think we can afford to draw that. Oh, I meant to hit. Okay, so we would... That's not fantastic. I think we're just going to hold up the Durger Island Dragon. I meant to hit decline as in put it in the graveyard. My brain was not working properly. So we're just going to tap down whatever they end up playing here. So hopefully we can keep attacking with the Botanist and looking for lands. So let's try that here. We'll see what they're keeping 2 mana up for. Alright, so hopefully now we can try and get a land. And if you don't put the card in your hand, you may put it into your graveyard. Yes, put this into the graveyard. And then we are just going to have to play a Kishla Skimmer. We are a little stuck right now, but hopefully we can get this unlocked. So we are going to play the Einok Wayfarer here, and hopefully we can get a land or two. Okay, we will take a forest. And then we are not going to be attacking. So next turn we can play the Battle Crier and try to trade that with the Pummeler. Or we can just play the Sipstic Appraiser and try to get more lands. I think that's probably what we're going to do. I do think they're going to be able to get a card here by activating this on the Pummeler, but nothing we can do about it. Hopefully we can draw a couple lands here. Swamp off the top would be great. Not a land, but a Champion of Doosan. I do think we're interested in just trying to get as many lands as we can. Here we will take the Opulent Palace, which we will play tapped. And we'll just try and hold the fort a little bit here. Opponent's got an Eshki, followed by, I would assume, is drawing a card, which is quite strong. So I do think we're actually interested in double blocking here. It's not incredible, but it keeps them from drawing another card. Is this board 1? Yeah, so I think we're going to take out the Eshki. We will pay. And just try to hold up for a second here. We will get a... I think we actually want another mountain. So we're taking 6 here, most likely. We'll take 8 here. Next turn we can play a Mammoth Bellow and hopefully slow down the Champion of Doosan a little bit. I'm also okay with us just playing the Roar of the Endless Song. It's going to be a little bit defensive here. If they counter it, we just lose. Fantastic. I'm going to quit now. Alright, jumping into game number 2, we go first again. I do like this start a little bit better than our one last game. We can play the Wayfarer into a Relic if we want to, depending on our draw here. I do think we're just going to play the Wayfarer first. Awesome. We will take that to our hand, and we milled the Mammoth Bellow as well, which is not so bad. Now I think we'll just play this and then the Let's start by attacking. We'll play the Dragon Brood's Relic. It's pretty good. But they can only take one of our 2 creatures. I think the other one we're playing, we're more than happy with playing. So here we will play the Backwater, and then we'll play the Saku Pummeler, which we're fine with. Next turn we can play a discounted Mammoth Bellow, which doesn't feel so bad. And now we're kind of ramping towards hopefully being able to unlock our Relic eventually here. So now I do think we're going to play this tap land, and we're just going to play an Elephant. I think we're more than happy trading that with their Envoy here. So I do think now we want to get a little bit aggressive. They're definitely holding that mana for something. If it's a counterspell and we have to pay 4, it's still not terrible here. We're going to cautiously attack with everything. They might be returning this to our hand. Tapping a creature, sure. They're taking 5. And then we're going to play the Embermail Sentinel. We do not want to go get a land. Opponent has got a million cards, but we have a lot of creatures. Hopefully we can kind of fend off their comeback here. We will be able to activate the Dragon Brood's Relic on our turn, which is going to feel pretty strong. Even just doing 3 damage to them, I think, feels pretty solid. So I think we're just going to go for that. I also think they might be holding up. They might be holding up mana for a counterspell as well. This kind of plays around that. Alright. So as long as we draw our lands and can play our cards, we can do alright. So we're gonna jump into game 3 here. Alright, hopping into our 3rd match here. We get to go first again, which is fantastic. I do think we're gonna keep this. We've got access to all of our colors and a Devotee on turn 2. Feels pretty good to me. I do think we are interested in playing that here. Looks like our opponent is also playing Teamer to some extent. We've got a good amount of land fixing going on here. Looks like they'll go get a mountain. And then here we are just going to play our Champion of Doosan. We'd like to put a little bit of pressure on. Looks like they're going to play a Undergrowth Leopard here. I do think we're interested in attacking with the Champion of Doosan just because they could pay 1 to get rid of our Roar of Endless Song if we do end up playing it next turn. And so I think we're more than happy getting that off the battlefield now, so we can't get rid of our Relic or our Roar of the Endless Song quite yet. And then I don't think we want to go get a land. We're just going to end our turn there. Interesting. Shock Brigade into a Botanist is certainly interesting. We're just going to play Roar of the Endless Song here. Hopefully our elephants can hold up against their Brigade and Botanist. And next turn we've got a couple options as to what we can do. So it looks like we're going to get a little bit of an aggressive attack in here. They'll also get to filter their draw a little bit. We will take 4 as it stands. So here I do think we're interested in just playing out the Saga Wildling, as next turn it's going to turn into a 6/6 that we can attack with. And we will tap down our Temur Devotee. And then we will attack with one of our elephants here. So here it looks like they didn't want to attack with the Botanist or the Intimidator just because of they didn't want it to get eaten or trade. So I think we're fine doing this. If they have a trick, it obviously does not feel great. But I kind of don't think they did just based on how they attacked. Okay, they did. Well, it's honestly fine. It would have died regardless. Now we're doubling power and toughness, and I think we just want to play... Actually, let's play the Skimmer first. And then let's give our Elephant Trample. Drawing a card. We are not wanting to draw many lands today, but that is okay. Looks like they're going to be chumping here. Or even the song is insane. So it's good for picking something off, but I don't think it's going to do quite enough here. I need to draw a little bit more action. I think they're going to take out our Wildling, yep. Knockout maneuver is good. Alright, so not a bad turn out of our opponent. I do think we are going to start by just attacking here. Doing 2 damage, and then we're going to play out our board a little bit here. I think had they had a board clear, they would have played it. And let's tap down our Devotee. And I think this should be enough here. Tursa is not quite good enough. They're going to be able to cast one of these at random, but even still, we have a lot of pressure on the board now. So I think you were more than happy not blocking and taking 6. Our opponent is not wanting to forfeit, which I respect. Alright, we get there in game 3 as well. So we are now 2-1. Alright, hopping into game number 4 here. We go first again! We're on a hot streak today of going first and also drawing a good combination of lands. So we're going to keep this. We're more than happy to. We're going to play a Rugged Highlands first, and then probably draw a card with the Unending Whisper on our second turn here. Yep, I think we're just going to do that. Now we will just play out our Champion of Doosan. Thought for a second we were getting countered there. We are not yet. So we have to do some damage here. I think we're going to start by attacking. And then let's go ahead and go get a swamp here. We put one on our deck for this very reason. We're going to play that out, and then I think we're just going to leave up Piercing Exhale and kill whatever they play this turn, instead of playing out the Temur Devotee. Actually, so we're just going to play Temur Devotee this turn, instead of holding up the Piercing Exhale. So our opponent is trying to get some value with the Essence Anchor here. Next turn, if we draw an untapped land, we can go Roar the Endless Song, which would feel good. We also could just hold up the Fanekeeper's Familiar if it does not go that route. So we don't get an untapped land, which is not great. But our opponent looks like they missed their land drop, which feels alright for us. And now we can just kind of hang out the Fanekeeper's Familiar for their turn. I do think we're interested in attacking here. So our opponent will take 2, and then we'll just try and counter whatever they play with the Fanekeeper's Familiar here. And then next turn we can play Roar the Endless Song, which feels pretty strong. Yeah, so we're more than happy countering that. Perfect. We will play our tapped land, and then while they don't have mana up, we can play our Roar of the Endless Song. That card is good. Looks like Ambling Storm Shell is the play out of our opponent. We will continue playing a tapped land here. And then I'm actually going to play the Champion of Doosan targeting this elephant so that we can attack with this elephant. And then if they block, we can Piercing Exhale. So we can still get 3 damage through while taking that off the battlefield. And then next turn, we're doubling the power and toughness of every creature we have with trampling on one of them. Feels like a good spot to be in. Roar of the Endless Song does it again. Looks like our opponent is BronzeToMythic. I don't know if that's the BronzeToMythic, but we will see. We go first again. I do think we're going to keep this, and we're going to go get a forest here. Alright, so we're going to start off by playing our Evolving Wilds and going and getting a forest. Then we can go Kish the Skimmer into Temur Battlecrier, and hopefully we can play our Pummeler and our Earthcarver for cheaper here. Martyr Devotee is a great start out of our opponent. Keeping both on top is not a fantastic sign. Looks like they're eyeing it with some removal here. Shock Brigade is the play out of our opponent. We are going... I do think we want to attack here. And then I'm going to play out the Temur Battlecrier, which will make our Sagu Pummeler cheaper next turn. Same with our but really every spell, but Sultai Devotee as well. We can play the Pummeler, and then everything else will get heavily discounted for the turn after that, which feels good. It looks like our opponent does have some type of spell here. I think they wanted us to block. I think we're fine just taking the 2 at the moment. Bearer of Glory, so they've definitely got a quicker paced deck than ours. We'll just see how long we can last here. I do think we want to play the Sultai Devotee into the Traveling Botanist, just to get as big of a board as we can. And then, hopefully after that, we can start... I'm fine with this trade. Sure. I think us just clearing the board as much as we possibly can is great here. I just really like our top end more than more than theirs if they're strictly a Mardu deck. They play Thunder of Unity, which is fine. It's not our favorite card to see, but it's also not the worst. Alright, so we did get punished there a little bit. Hopefully we can draw a land here. We can, so we are going to reveal that, which feels fantastic. So now we can at least play our Sagu Pummeler, and then hopefully we can play either the Bellow or the Roar of the Endless Song on the turn after that. Just any untap land feels great here. Perfect. So we are going to just slam the Roar of the Endless Song here. I do think we're still going to attack with the Botanist, just because we can see if we can get a land off of that. Maybe we'll just attack with both. I think they might be able to have some kind of effect here. So let's... I think we're actually fine drawing that. So Anafinza is good here. Our opponent will take 2. Next turn, I think we want to at least consider taking out the Anafinza. But I think we're just going to keep playing elephants. Bone-Carrying Butcher is a really strong play out of our opponent. And now we'll just look to stabilize as much as we can here. I think there's a chance we want to just take out the... I think we just want to play another elephant. How many elephants is too many elephants? Because this itself doesn't have Death Touch, so we'll take some heat from the tokens here, but... Now we've got a removal spell in hand, and a bunch of large elephants next turn if they don't kill any of them here. There are worse spots to be in. Stormplane Detainment is great. So I'm going to take one of our elephants away. I think their hesitancy to want to attack indicates to me that they don't have any other action besides this channeling Dragonfire. Otherwise I'd just be jamming right now. Or they are going to. So as it stands, we're taking 10 if they have no other effects. If we block like this, we're taking 8. If they have +3/+0, they win. You gotta think they have something. But if they don't, do they have +3/+0? Probably not. +3/+0, draw a card. 8. They might have some effect though. It's probably dumb to not also block like this. So we'll do this. They did have it! Oh my gosh! That would have been catastrophic. Oh my gosh! We called it. And we are going to get there in this game as well. That is hilarious. That is so funny. And then we do end up barely getting there here. Oh my gosh. What a crazy, crazy game. I'm so glad I blocked it the last second. Yeah, let's put that in our graveyard. Oh my gosh. Let's go. That was so funny. They had the exact card that would have killed us, and they don't. Alright, jumping into the next one here. That game was crazy. Crazy. We are going to mulligan this. We keep going first, which is huge. Here we will keep this. And I think we're going to put back the relic just because we have no early creatures to really take advantage of that. And then let's go get a... Well, let's play the Opulent Palace first. Because then we can draw a card and then go get a mountain next turn. So let's do that. Let's draw a card. And then let's go get our mountain here. And now we're just trying to draw as many lands as we can. I think we have a lot of heat in our hand currently. Team of Battlecry will also start discounting things. Land is great. We'll play the Battle Crier here. And then next turn we can cheat out the Roar of the Endless Song, which feels kind of insane, playing that on turn 4 on the play. We'll see what we can do. So here we are not going to block. We'll take a bit of a hit, and then hopefully we can stabilize a little bit here. I think we're more than happy now trading our elephant for his leopard, and if he wants to get rid of the Endless Song, we also have plenty of other ammunition as well. He's giving up a 5/5 on the board, so it's kind of our offer to them. So it looks like they are probably going to be destroying it here. I would guess before our turn they will be. Yep. Which is totally fine by me. So now we can play a Temur Devotee. Followed by a Mammoth Bellow. That feels pretty strong. Or maybe we just want to play the Mammoth Bellow and then play the Unending Whisper and draw a card. We're going to go with the Temur Devotee followed by the Mammoth Bellow here. And we are not going to be attacking quite yet. Now we're going to look to just amass an army of elephants. We'll probably play this again next turn, followed by maybe an Unending Whisper. Here they have the Temur Tawnyback, which is fine. So Piercing Exhale is really strong there. I do think we are... This is free? We'll take that. Yes, we will take that action. I do think we want to go get a... Probably another forest. So let's do that. And then I think we're interested in I really think we're interested in just making more elephants. Yes, we will do that. And then we will go ahead and I do think we want to get rid of their Dragon Sniper now. Just seems like good value. And now I actually think we're totally fine attacking here. Had to think through my choices there. So now we have a clear board and a pretty decent board presence. Looks like they have some elephants of their own. But we are fine just attacking here. And then we'll just hold up our Fanekeeper's Familiar. We can either destroy an enchantment, counter a creature spell, which I think we're going to do. I think that's just enough value to warrant countering. If they spend their turn countering our counter, it is what it is. Here we will start by attacking. We are mildly out of gas, but that is okay. Sure. Now we're going to draw all of our lands. Opponent's playing an Inspirited Vanguard, which is quite good. I do think even still we're fine attacking through that. And we'll play out our Sagu Pummeler. Not a bad draw. So I do think, I mean, we're not going to be blocking with this later, so let's go ahead and just do that. Yeah, we're now in a bit of a tough spot. Mammoth Bellow is a totally reasonable draw. So let's play that here. Looks like they're probably playing an elephant of their own. I think we might be one elephant short here, which is not great, but what are you going to do? I would assume they're going to attack with the Inspirited Vanguard. Take out one of our elephants here, but we'll see. So if they make it into a 7/6, we double block, we'll take 6. Dragon Broods. Oh, I forgot they were 5. Alright, so we get it done there too. Alright, jumping into our next one here. Our opponent is going first. Our streak, our beautiful streak, is at an end tier of playing first. But we will keep this hand. We can play this Skimmer on 2. And then hopefully we can draw either an island or a mountain and play the Battle Crier. That is a great turn 1 play from our opponent. Now hopefully we can either draw an island or a mountain in 2 turns. Looks like they're either going to maybe counter this or just go get the Dragonstorm Globe with the Forecaster. Yep. Solid start out of our opponent. I like when we get to go first. It's much more fun that way. So we are not quite going to get to play the Teamer Battle card, but we can play the Botanist here, which is a nice consolation prize. They can play their Teamer Battle Crier. It's pretty good. Yeah, that's really good. Opponent has a really fun curve out across the table from us. Alright, so we're going to draw another forest here, which doesn't feel incredible. We're just going to keep attacking through the sky, and then hopefully we can shore things up with the Sagu Pummeler here. Who can have more elephants? us or our opponent? I'm willing to bet our opponent right now. Exhale is good. Alright, so we do end up drawing our mountain. I think we just want to play the Mammoth Bellow here. Get some elephants in play. Storm Shriek Feral is not bad. Hopefully we can get our Sagu Pummeler's Reach on another creature. Opponent's got a really fun deck. I think it's doing its thing. So we will go get a swamp here. So next turn we can kind of keep up the Fanekeeper's Familiar. This is a tough decision. I think we're just going to put the Sagu Pummeler's Reach encounters on the Botanist. We'll get to draw a card, which is good, and then we'll hold up. Just facing a ton of pressure at the moment. Does not get better. Yeah, this is tough. This is when I don't know what we could have really done here. Our opponent is just really had a fantastic curve out. This is what it's like when you don't get to play first. It's unbelievable. We will take 10, and we're just so dead. We will play this, followed by a Relic. We will gain 3 life and Surveil 3, which does nothing for us here, but we would have filtered all those lands away, and we will lose this one. Alright, jump into this next one. We are 5 and 2 at the moment. Looks like our opponent will go first again. I do think we've got a bit of a slower hand, but we're going to keep this on the draw. Hopefully we can draw some action between our draw steps and the Unending Whisper here. Or we can draw more lands. That also works. Looks like our opponent's got a bit of a slow start as well. So here we'll just play out the Sultai Devotee. I don't know if we're going to play the Whirling Stormbrood for its Omen cost. I think we're just going to keep it up for its Dragon ability here, depending on what we draw. Maybe we will. 3-1. Oh, did not mean to do that. 3-1 counters is a lot of counters. And I don't love us casting a Piercing Exhale or the Dirger Island Dragon. So I think getting in for 5 feels fine here. Looks like our opponent will try and double spell here. Returning it to our hand is quite good. So we have got all the lands we could ever want. And then I don't know if we want a Piercing Exhale. Maybe we do just for the Surveil effect. Yeah, let's do it. I do want to Surveil too. We just can't be drawing any more lands. We will take a Bellow, but not that. I'm fine with our opponent having to burn a removal spell on our Sultai Devotee. Now we can go Mammoth Bellow into Dirger Island Dragon, which feels quite good. Alright. Looks like our opponent was probably stuck on something as well. We moved to 6 and 2. Alright, jumping into this final game here. If we win this game, we'll be giving away another draft to one of you all. If we don't win, we're going to come up just short, being 6 and 2. So let's hope that we can get a win here. Our opponent is going first, but I think we're going to want to keep this. We're going to go ahead and get a mountain with our evolving wilds on our first turn here. That way we can go ahead and play our traveling botanist on turn 2. And hopefully not have too much delay in between our plays here. Quarry Steel Cutter is fantastic. Hopefully our opponent cannot double spell next turn. And if they do, we can try and get some card draw in with the botanist. Looks like I'm going to be playing a Temur Tawny back. Not the worst thing in the world. So here I do think we just want to play out our Champion of Doosan. Just kind of trades up with the Tawny back. Probably not going to get any botanist attacks in this game, and that's okay. They're going to play an Equilibrium Adept, which is totally fine. Attacking with the Champion of Doosan, and if they block, we can shoot the other thing they don't block with. And here I think we should play the Temur Devotee. And then I am going to Piercing Exhale the Equilibrium Adept just because the double strike and the Steel Cutter seems bad. And we're going to keep both of those. Those are both fantastic draws. So next turn we'll probably play out our Sagu Wildling. We'll see if they can double spell here, get some value off of the Quarry Steel Cutter. Looks like they are. I'm surprised they're getting rid of the Traveling Botanist here. But I'm not one to complain. So here I do think we want to just play out the Wildling. And hold up for a second. Our Mammoth Bellows can start to take over, as well as our Awaken the Honored Deads. And then next turn we'll make sure to play our tapped land. But this allows us to play the Wildling, then the Mammoth Bellow, then the Awaken the Honored Dead. Just kind of feels like the best sequencing there. And here I'm more than happy trading with a Temur Devotee. So we will trade here. We'll play this tapped. I think we're more than happy attacking with both of these, offering a trade. And then we will play our Mammoth Bellow. I think the longer the game goes, the worse the Steel Cutter gets. If they have 2 spells, good on them. But then they probably wouldn't the turn following. So if they had a second spell, I would think they'd be firing it off right now. Now we're just kind of looking at equipment territory. They probably do have a second spell. We're not going to block. Do they have another spell? I'm not sure I understand what this attack was. I'm going to assume it was a combat trick. Maybe it's a removal spell. So now we're going to play Awaken the Honored Dead first. We're going to destroy the Tawny back here. Attack for 9. Next turn we can play another elephant, or we can play the Battle Crier. Looks like they're searching for something here. Bend 2 lands. So we will mill 3. I'm going to start by attacking. If they want to trade, that is fine by me. It's going to allow us to put a trample and 1/1 counter on one of our elephants here. So, let's do this. Let's do this. And then next turn we can put the 1/1 counter on something. And we get there again! I'm talking 3 trophies in 4 videos. Let's go. That's so huge. So our deck gets there yet again, which is crazy. Had a really, really fun run today. Played against BronzeToMythic. Ended up barely getting that victory and a couple other ones. We were on the play a ton, and this is the deck that gets another trophy. Really, really a fun one today. So all you have to do to claim this free draft, another free draft, I have like 10 subscribers. This could be yours if you want it. You gotta like this video, subscribe to my channel, and leave a comment down below on how you think I did. Thank y'all for watching. Hopefully one of you will walk away with a really cool draft. Send me the deck you did it with. All you have to do is those 3 things, and I will reach out to you. Thanks y'all for watching.